Salesforce just fired 4,000 customer service reps. Guys, that's 45% of their US-based customer service reps. They've dropped it from 9,000 down to 5,000. But what's the cause? How are they able to do this? Well, you guessed it, AI agents. Today, we're going to cover this change, why it's important, how it's impacting big companies like Salesforce and smaller businesses. And I'm also going to explain to you why this is not just outsourcing 2.0. AI, guys, is not NFTs 3.0. This is a big deal, and it's happening, and the receipts are there. So we're going to talk about it here today. And if you want to keep up with what's happening in AI, what's happening in the news, how you can leverage AI to be a better man, a better leader, this is the time to hit subscribe. Thank you. So, in a podcast just this past week, the CEO Marc Benioff revealed that Agentic AI has now been released on their customer service platform, and Agentforce, which is their customer service bot, now handles 50% of customer interactions, up from 0% last year. Let me repeat that. Their customer service AI agents are handling 50% of customer service inquiries. That is an insane number, And, look, I get it that, sometimes you just want to talk to a human because your issue is more complicated. It can do that too. The AI agent, once it finds that, hey, this is too complicated for me, it's going to hand it off to a human. And I just want to take a step back here just for a moment, give you something anecdotal. My wife we had a problem with a Verizon outage here this past weekend, and getting to a human in Verizon's ecosystem was such a nightmare. We would talk to an agent, he would not be able to solve the problem. He said, please hold. 25 minutes later, we'd get another person who put us on hold. It was a nightmare. If you told me that all the people with mundane, normal tasks and problems could be handed off to an AI agent, what does that do? That frees up the humans to solve the more complex problems. And that's what we're seeing. And again, I'm going to tell you why this is important to your small business. I think you could probably start putting these things together. It's not that complicated as to why this could help, because it's freeing up massive amounts of time. And it doesn't just stop with the customer service though, guys. It is a huge deal on the sales side as well. Also on the podcast, Salesforce CEO Marc Benioff said they used AI to make 100 million sales calls. They had a backlog on sales calls. They just didn't have the manpower. They didn't have the workforce to handle all these sales calls. So they released the AI agent, made 100 million sales calls. Now, what's not clear is exactly how many meetings were booked, what the bottom line as far as revenue result was. But just think about how long it would take a human to make 100 million sales calls and how long it would take a robot. Very, very, very different type of thing. Again, we're going to kind of talk, you're probably asking in your mind like, wow, there's probably a lot of problems there. We're going to talk about a couple of those problems here in just a moment, so stay tuned. So let's talk about how this works though first. What they're doing again is we have AI agents that are managing the routine tasks, the routine issues, and then handing off the more complex tasks. Now, in the sales world, this is SDR work 101. You don't need to have your human SDR team making all these preliminary calls. And there's a couple of reasons why the agents are really important here. First off, you need to understand that these AI agents are incredibly lifelike. Their voice, the AI voice is unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable. It sounds real. They pause, there's inflection. They simulate breathing, laughter. They sound very, very, very real. And for an SDR call, all you're really trying to do is get someone to book a meeting with the sales staff. You're trying to qualify them. Is this the decision maker? Is this an urgent problem? Do they have the funds? You're just trying to get them quickly qualified, get them on a call with the sales staff. And I don't see any reason why we, as small business owners, as consultants, even as enterprise, can't be using these SDR agents to do this qualification. One of the key metrics here, and I'm going to get more into this, is speed to lead. It might take a human 12 hours to get back to a lead that fills out an ad or engages with an ad. Your SDR, AI agent could get back to them in 12 seconds. That's a big deal. That is the number one converting metric. The number one metric when it comes to converting your leads into meetings is speed to lead. At any rate, Marc Benioff does have some very impressive figures here when it comes to accuracy, which I think is the number one thing that people kind of doubt when it comes to these AI agents. And he says that they find that the Salesforce AI is 93% accurate. And what's impressive to me here, what's kind of funny here, is that he also, in an interview last month to Fortune, said, and I quote, because it's only 90% accurate, 93% accurate, and he says, I quote, humans are not going away. But you know what I say to that? Okay, humans are not going away. What about the 4,000 customer service reps that you just laid off? What about them? They're going away. They're going somewhere. I don't know where they're going, but they're going away. And I'll tell you what, they're going to have a hard time finding a new job because what do they know? They know customer service. Where are you going to work, guys? The customer service role that you have been learning doesn't exist anymore because all the companies are using AI agents. And listen, like, I understand that there is still an important role for humans. It's just not going to be as many of those roles because the AI agents are going to be taking up a lot of those entry-level roles. And you're already seeing this. I recorded a video on this a couple days ago. You know, entry-level positions are just not showing up anymore. Sure, if you're customer-facing, if you are leading humans, you could be okay. But these entry-level roles are not there. I mean, college graduate unemployment rate is skyrocketed. It's increased from 5.8% to 6.6% in just the last 12 months. Since January, that number has increased. That is crazy. That's a 15 to 20% increase in college graduate unemployment in just a few months. That's crazy. But you know, what I also think is interesting, and I know what everyone's going to say is, oh, this is a one-off. This is not a big deal. You know, it's just Salesforce. They're just restructuring their organization. It's not just them, guys. Just a few weeks ago, I recorded a video. Microsoft laid off 15,000 US employees. Amazon has laid off hundreds of cloud workers, and it's planning on firing thousands more. These are I'll put links to these videos up here. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying they're just outsourcing to India. I don't see it, guys. I don't see it. I'm not saying that outsourcing doesn't happen. I'm not saying that hiring overseas doesn't happen. But Oracle, and I recorded a video on this, Oracle just laid off 10% of its Indian workforce. Thousands and thousands of people were laid off from Oracle. So I don't see it, guys. I don't know. Feel free to flame me in the comments, but you know what I think? I think it's a coping mechanism. I think you're coping with the fact that the jobs here in the US have changed fundamentally. And I think that you're coping with the fact that you just don't want to learn this new tech. It's too scary. It's too big. You built your life learning one thing, and now all of a sudden, the rug is getting pulled out from underneath you. The jobs just don't exist anymore. If you're an SDR, why do we need you as an SDR when we have an AI agent making thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of millions of calls? And, you know, it's just, I understand that it's scary, but I think what we need to understand as men and as leaders is that things are changing. Things are changing. We need to be problem solvers. That's the way I look at myself now. When the world is changing this dramatically, the job that I'm doing now may not exist in 5 years, okay? But if I can continue to evolve, if I can continue to solve new problems, I'm gonna be good. That's the way I see it. Continue to be a man of action, to continue to solve problems. The problems that you're solving now might not exist in 5 years, but there will be new problems that you can solve, okay? Now, before you kind of freak out on me and say, Mark, this is only the big companies, there's gonna be this huge wealth disparity, small businesses are done. Okay, you're welcome to write that down below. But I think maybe what you don't realize is that in a position like this, when you're looking at customer service, when you're looking at SDR and sales work and using AI agents there, I think it actually has the opposite effect. I think that if you can figure it out for your business, if you can implement it correctly, this is actually a force multiplier on your small business staff. Think about it. let's say you have one or two people that are handling customer service and sales calls, right? Maybe you've got a handful, maybe you've got a half dozen people, okay? And they're going to struggle to handle all the issues coming in. But guys, a customer service bot is working 24/7, 365. And quite frankly, it can handle a lot of the problems that pop up. I do a lot of work in HubSpot for customers and for my clients. And HubSpot is just, there's a lot going on with HubSpot. But guys, I'm not calling HubSpot very often. Most of the problems I can solve just by using their AI agent, or I just go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, and ChatGPT does a good job of leading me in the right direction. And I would say one problem out of 10, I need a human, in which case I call. That's kind of how I think how we should be thinking about handling customer service. 90%, 80% of our calls are handled by our AI agents, our FAQ boards, our AI chatbots. The other 10 to 20% can work with a human. Think about how much time that frees up your human staff to work on other projects and more complex issues in human relationship building. Seems like a lot, no? Think about it on the sales side. Hot lead comes in via Facebook ad. How long does it take your sales staff to get back to them? 5 minutes? 10 minutes? 20 minutes? A day? It could be a long time. Well, if you have an AI agentic SDR, that AI agent could be calling them back immediately. Qualifying them and scheduling an appointment. Or maybe in some cases even closing on the call. Although at this point in time, I'm not really counting on an AI agent to close, but I could see an AI agent playing a key part in maybe a product-led funnel and getting someone into a free trial, or getting somebody kind of to the right web page where you have, tutorials, videos, a well-designed landing page to convert them into a user. Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is that, you might have, think about what Salesforce did. They used AI agents to contact 100 million leads. It's, your budget, Salesforce doesn't have the budget to have humans to do that, and neither do you. But you very well could have the budget to power an AI agent to handle those types of leads. So anyway, I hope you liked the video today. I just find it very fascinating what's happening in the tech world. I find it very fascinating what's happening in the AI space. And I know a lot of people just think that these CEOs are money hungry and greedy and they're just faking it and it's all smoke and mirrors, and that's fair. You're entitled to your opinion there. But I don't know that it necessarily serves you. I think we should be looking at what all the companies are doing and considering how does that impact me, my family, my livelihood, my business. It's because it does. It does. And sitting there and saying, well, it's too big, I'm too scared, or whatever other excuse. I don't feel like learning anymore. I don't think it serves you. Okay? I don't think it serves you. But I will say this, and one more closing thought. Yesterday I recorded a video about the Microsoft CEO sharing his favorite ChatGPT prompts. And this is going to be the key. If you're a business owner, if you're trying to implement AI into your business right now, the key here is clean first-party data. Your results from AI are only going to be as good as the prompts and the data going in, the inputs going in. So check out yesterday's video. I think you'll find it very interesting, because looking at your entire business, your entire tech stack from an input and prompt standpoint, I think helps to contextualize how we're going to have success within our organizations over the coming years. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about for me, my business, the clients I'm doing consulting with. Check it out. Check out that video. I'll see you over there. All right. Peace.